start, I would like to introduce myself. For starters, this is my first weather briefing. I'm a bit tense, but I think that's normal. I started working for EUMeTrain since, well, January this year. I worked some irregular times, irregular shifts for EUMeTrain last year, but now I'm here for a full time. And in the free time here at my service, I'm, let's say, training for a forecaster. And in the other time when I'm working for EUMeTrain, I'm working on courses on EUMeTrain webpage and other stuff that concerns EUMeTrain. So, okay, I'm here situated in Zagreb right now. You can see this pretty picture of Zagreb from yesterday. There were some clouds in the sky, mostly low clouds, cumulus, and maybe some cirrostratus or cirrocumulus clouds. But we'll get to that picture a bit later. So, for starters, our usual custom in our EUMeTrain weather briefings, please use our annotation tools, your highlighters, your pens, your ticks or crosses or something you would like, and you can mark where you come from. I see you have some problems with that, but try now. Try annotating now. Yeah, it's okay now. Okay, I'm glad there's people from all around Europe. Okay, thank you. Thank you. It's a good custom for the beginning of the briefing to know where the people come from, just to be aware of them. Oh, I see my colleague from the other desk also here. I'm glad to see her. Okay, now we can go to the other slide. We can comment on the synoptic situation with this air mass RGB from yesterday, March 22nd at 12 UTC. We can see that on Europe, a big trough, actually, cutoff low that is situated on the Bay of Biscay or west of England, is affecting on practically the whole western part of Europe. So British Isles, western France, northern Spain, etc. On the east, actually on the eastern side of Balkan, we can see a big trough, a big ridge that is affecting on that area, and that is why we see on this RGB there are practically almost no clouds, nice and sunny weather. And between these two systems, we can see an occluded front right here, that a bit later. Now we see the water vapor image, satellite image from 6.2 micrometer channel. We can see some features here, like the cutoff low that I mentioned before. I would like you now, participants, to use your annotation tool again, and use them to mark the areas where possible jet streaks may be, as this is the usual or common thing that we do in the weather briefings. Yes, yes, okay. Good. Good. Anywhere else, maybe? Do we see some other dry areas? Yes, Helena, exactly. I was meaning exactly that. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Now we can, I will clear all annotations. Okay, now we can go further on the next slide when we, where you can see the actual isotechs and on the 300 hectopascal level that are marking the positions of jet streaks. We can see this one jet streak that is corresponding with the isotechs on this image, and for instance this one here. But on this position we don't have any, let's say, pronounced isotechs, no great speeds, but still we have some dry air in the troposphere. And also here in Russia, that Helena pointed out. Also on this water vapor image, 6.2 micrometers, we can clearly see this occluded front. Let's say that passes through middle Italy, western side of Croatia, Slovenia, Austria, Czech Republic, Poland, and along to the north. It will be important for our next images and slides. On this slide, I just wanted to point out the places we are going to be digitally in Croatia. So I will talk about cloudiness and RGB products for Croatia in Zagreb, in Zavižan, in Split, and in Dubrovnik. So, as I said, we went from north to south, from Zagreb. Yesterday's webcam image from our weather service, we see that is actually the image from the first slide, from the introduction slide. We can see the low clouds, cumulus, and some high clouds, cirrocumulus and cirrostratus, that are covering the skies above Zagreb. Also on the Zavižan side, this is our highest weather station in Croatia. It is at the elevation of 1,594 meters above sea level. If there were clear skies on this picture, you could see, maybe you can see right now the seaside down here, but maybe in some other weather briefing when we'll use this webcam, we could see the seaside, but that is not important right now. At this time, what is important? It is important that the Zavižan weather station is completely covered in clouds. For one part, because that is a really high weather station, so it's connecting to the, well, medium clouds already and low clouds, and high clouds cannot be even seen from there because, well, as I said, it is covered with lower and middle clouds. Due to south, we can see Split webcam, and on the there was no or really low cloudiness that was covering the sky, and as we can see, only this line of cloudiness that is approximately to northwest of Split is visible from this webcam. On the next slide, we can see the reason for this cloudiness. The pictures on the last slide were taken about an hour before this satellite image, but the main reason for this type of cloudiness is seen on this satellite. Zagreb is somewhere here, let's say. It's a bit area, but just to get the idea where Zagreb is. So as I said before, some low clouds in yellowish colors are present, and some high clouds in reddish and black colors are present, as you could see on the image before. Zavijan station is approximately here, as I pointed out earlier, and also you can see it is covered in mostly high clouds that are visible on this satellite image. And as we saw on the webcam image a slide before, it is covered in low and middle clouds, but we cannot see them so well on this satellite image because the high clouds are covering them. Split is here, let's say, and it has really nice weather, no clouds in the area. Just from the last slide, we could see this cloud band, let's say. I think this is the cloud band that we can see on this picture. I'm not sure, but possibly it is. And Dubrovnik will be on the next slide, a picture from Dubrovnik harbor, an image from its webcam. We can see Dubrovnik is on this satellite image is in a very clean area of clouds. There should be no clouds in that area, neither the high clouds, neither the low clouds, neither the middle clouds, and we will see this in the next picture. This is Dubrovnik harbor. As I said, we can see no clouds in the sky, but of course this is just a portion of whole sky, and maybe there are some individual clouds in the sky on the other side of this webcam, but it is not important for right now because the sky is really clear. I have taken this picture from Skyline webcams, and they hold all the rights for this image. All the other webcam images are from our National Meteorological Hydrological Service. And we'll get to the Skyline webcams later in the presentation. For today, March 23rd at 6 UTC, air mass RGB looks, let's say, similar to yesterday's. The systems have naturally shifted to the east. So yesterday, this front was approximately here, and we will see the consequences of this shift later in the webcam images from Dubrovnik, Zagreb, and Split again. Regarding the cutoff low, it is still positioned in the Bay of Biscay. It causes unstable and cloudy weather across western parts of Spain and Portugal, western parts of and practically central parts of France, and southern parts of British Isles. And yes, of course, I saw on Sinop some rain in in eastern parts of Spain, so let's say about here, around Barcelona, some rain here in France and in England. Water vapor image with isotechs. I just wanted to point out that the image is rather similar to yesterday's. The jet axis has, of course, moved to the east a bit. Jet axis that went through Central Europe yesterday broke into two pieces, as we can see now. And of course, we have our dry areas that we can naturally see in this water vapor image. I'm sorry I made a bunch of stripes in this green color, but you can get the point of this. And this is another dry area in this image. Concerning webcams in Croatia, we are going to get to that a little bit later. I'm going to talk about air mass RGB over Croatia today in 6 UTC. I wanted to say that today Croatia is split into 3 parts, 2 cloudy parts and 1 clear part of central Croatia, and that is clearly seen on webcam images. I just wanted to point out that there are some low clouds over Zagreb in the morning and a lot of high clouds seen here as a reddish color on this satellite image. The webcam images from today, we can see in Zagreb there are some low to middle level clouds over Zagreb, as I said on the slide before. In Split, there are some high level clouds that were also seen on this dust RGB image that really nice distinguishes between low level clouds and high level clouds. And in Dubrovnik Harbor, we can see that the sky is completely covered in high level clouds, that is around here. And because the time is limited and we have 2 more presenters, that would be all from me for today. Thank you for listening. I think I said everything I should have, and I hope you enjoyed this little overview of the clouds over Croatia. Thank you.
Thank you, Marko. Now I think it's my turn. Thank you for giving me the presentation right. Yes, my name is Andreas Wirth. I'm coming from ZAMG Vienna, Central Institute of Meteorology in Vienna. I selected 3 locations in Austria, and the images are all from, except one, are all from 8:30 UTC this morning, so 9:30 local time. So I'm going to present the sky over Vienna here. Then I selected the highest mountain in Austria, the Großglockner, and finally Bregenz, one of the most western cities in Austria. And the weather is quite different. That's also the reason why I selected them. Let's continue. Next slide. Yes, this is my favorite satellite image, the high resolution visible image. I like it because, not so much because of the contrast, but overall because of the high resolution. And you can see so many details. And if you're used to use it, you can even discern clouds from snow and higher clouds from lower clouds and so on. So Vienna is here. Again, the Großglockner, this high mountain, is here, and Bregenz is near the Lake of Constance. You see here different types of clouds. This rather more or less homogeneous cloud field is Lee effect produced by the Alps. You see here the sharp contrast between the cloud field and the southern part. We have southerly winds, that means the winds come from this side, and we have kind of barrage clouds here and cloudless areas in the inner alpine valleys of the Salzach and the Inn, and in the most western part of Austria there are no clouds. So I continue now with the dust RGB. This here shows you very nicely the different type of clouds. I told you this cloud shield, which consists of high ice clouds, and the barrage clouds, which are rather yellow and are low water clouds, and then here the eastern part of, the western part of Austria with Bregenz here, no clouds or only a few very minor clouds. I also like very much the clouds type image from the nowcasting stuff. Same situation here. We have the cloud shield, which corresponds to this semi-transparent thick cloud, the water clouds in the southern part, southwestern part, which corresponds to this low and medium-high cloudiness, and the green represents land, so there are no clouds in this region here. So this is the webcam image, first webcam image from this morning, 8:30 UTC. And you see here the building where I'm working. This is the building here. And unfortunately, we have a lot of constructions at the moment going on here. And I'm sitting just next to it, so approximately here, and I hear all day long the noise. But nevertheless, at the moment, it is calm, and I hope you will not be disturbed. But you see the sky from another building here. The sky over Vienna this morning was very gray and gray, so opaque, high-reaching clouds, as you have seen it in the satellite image. Not very nice, and it was rather cold this morning. So if we continue now, we have been here. If we continue now to this region, where we have the water clouds and the lower clouds, and we are also at the same time in the on the margin of the cloud fields, and this is very nicely seen in the next image. I have selected this one among different webcam images, and it's a webcam which is very high up in the Alps. Nevertheless, what you can see here is a parking place, so the cars can go there in summer. It's reachable by the Großglockner Hochalpenstraße, but this street only opens in early May, not now. So the road is still closed, no tourists there, just the webcam is working. And what you see now is the water clouds here in this region and the cloud-free area in the northern part. So this is really at the limit of the water clouds and the more or less cloud-free area in the central alpine region. So the next image, we are already going to Bregenz. Bregenz again is here on the shore of the Lake of Constance. And as the satellite image indicates, there are no clouds, and we will verify it. Yes, this is the 9:30 local time, so 8:30 UTC image. View from Bregenz, from the Festspielbühne on the lake, and you see only a few clouds, so more or less blue sky. And now you can guess where I would like to be instead of being here in Vienna. So thank you very much, and I hand over to Peter.
So thank you, Andreas. Now I will show you some. One moment, please. So, my name is Peter from Langen here in Germany. I will show you some clouds around our cities with a webcam. Webcams are also in internet. You can look to these images after the session. I start in the northern part in Hamburg. Then I go to my area here in Offenbach. There is the next webcam, and we have one webcam on the observatory Hohenpeisenberg. And afterwards, I show you some images from Wendelstein. And I will start in Hamburg, and I put it in this image also the webcam, but 6 RGBs. And I will show you some advantages of the RGBs, and some of them are good in this case, some of them are not so. But at the first, you see here in Hamburg stratocumulus or altocumulus, and it's no big change between 8 o'clock and between 10 o'clock. And the first thing is you look to the infrared image. You see the temperatures are around about -10 degrees, and so the layer is not so big. But you see here in the natural color RGB a tendency to icing. If the clouds are ice clouds, then they are like in the eastern parts of Berlin in a cyan color. But here you see first hints of cyan, so the cloud begins to icing, and you see also here in the HRV RGB the yellow color for mostly lower clouds with a good refraction of the visible of the visible images. In the day microphysics, you see here also on this image differences in color. It's the same for hints to ice like the natural color RGB. In this case, if you have a lower cloud, the air mass RGB is not so helpful. There are the whitish white clouds for the high level clouds, and in this area there is rain. You see it here, light rain, and but in this Hamburg area there are the differences between the colors not so big. Then we go to the middle area in Offenbach. We have you see nearly same situation, a lot of stratocumulus. In the last hours it disappears totally. So you see also at 9 o'clock, at 9 UTC here in the HRV image, there are some gaps between the clouds, and the sun comes more and more. And in this area, I think most of the clouds are empty in the afternoon, because the temperature is with +3 degrees. It's not. It's very high, so the cloud layer is really thin. You have in the day microphysics, there are some color differences between greenish and here a little more pinkish colors, and you see here in the natural color image this not. There's only whitish, and here you have the possibility to change between bigger drops in the stratus, if it is a little pinkish, or thinner droplets in the other areas. But it's no rain here. It was no drizzle and something. It was too thin in this case today. So we go to the into Bavaria in the observatory Hohenpeißenberg, round about 1,000 meter high. There are same situation, also some low-level clouds, and you see at 8 UTC it was in clouds, and then the clouds disappear very quickly, and at 10 UTC, 1 hour later, as these images, it was cloud nearly, the sun is shining a little, and it comes more and more. Here you see the situation, there are only some less clouds, and I will show you another mountain a little higher, and the Wendelstein, it was above the clouds. It's around about 1,700, and here you see the stratocumulus layer from above. And at 9 o'clock, this is from 7 to 9 UTC, and at 9 UTC there are big gaps, and the clouds are disappear. And here you see in the dust RGB the borderline of this red, of the thicker clouds, and there are also black color for thin ice clouds, and you see these ice clouds in the webcam on this side a little, but it's only on the borderline. So these are my parts. Only we have not so big big variety of clouds, so I'm at the end for my part. And Andreas, will you speak some words at the end?
No, I think it's Marko who's going to
yes,
continue.
So Peter, I would like to take the microphone back for a minute. I would just like to thank Larissa Nikitina for her contribution for this Understanding Clouds weather briefing. She sent us this morning a few images, satellite images and webcam images from Russia. So she is positioned in Moscow, and this is the Meteosat 8 satellite image near natural colors from this morning, 8 UTC. We can see over Moscow are practically clear skies, just some low cloudness northern of Moscow, and southeastern of Moscow, some high and low cloudness, some front, let's say. So we can go to next slide. She said that at 6 UTC this morning, they had clear skies over Moscow, as we can see on the image here above. And as they progressed, at about 12 UTC or 11 UTC, some cumulus started to develop in that area because of normal convection. And of course, maybe I mixed up the slides. I could have put the analysis and radar sounding before the images, but we get the point. The analysis is practically the same as we could see on the EUMeT RGB from a little bit earlier, and we can see that from the front that is southwestern from Moscow, that there's some precipitation falling from the clouds. And yes, that would be all from that contribution. Once again, I would like to thank Larissa for these images. I would like to thank you all now for